Playmaker International Box News. I'm joined by Michael Conlan. Michael, how are you today?
All good, Archie. How's things, mate?
Yeah, all good. All the better for interviewing you. I think I said that the last time, but it always works. I'm just gonna start by talking to you about obviously the beer that is I don't know
Yeah.
if that's cleverly in shot at the moment, but how was the launch party in Ibiza and how's life treating you?
Mate, it's went really well. I haven't launched it at home yet. Now I'm out delivering loads of cases today. No, it's just sitting there. It's actually not purposely in shop because I'm shifting it in here in a second. Um, but yeah, it's been good. The launch party in Ibiza was mental. And it's in all top place in Ibiza now. So it's went really well. We've got a lot of kind of publicity with all the celebrities and stuff out there, and that'll continue through the summer. But I think we were going to wait to the end of August, start of September before bringing it back home. But I think sometime in July we're going to bring it back home now, and I think there's a big one for it already. My Instagram doesn't stop every single day with it. When's it coming out? We're going to get it all this year. So, it's going to be coming back to Ireland and the UK soon.
I was going to say, even I just spoke to you off camera and said I even want a case. But we'll jump straight back into it with Luis Alberto Lopez, obviously suffering a defeat back on May 27th. I'm just want to get your reflection on the fight as a whole and obviously how you went into the fight and how it all proceeded on the night.
Yeah, like I haven't watched the fight back, so I don't actually know. I know it was just a war, and I know it was just going toe to toe from the start. I remember that, and I actually haven't watched it, so I don't know how good of a fight it probably was for the fans to watch. Um, I've been told it was a great fight, why it lasted, but even going into the fight, the build up and stuff. I can't blame the build up. The build up was fantastic. Preparation was fantastic. Fight week was very good. I felt good, felt confident all fight week, and then on fight night in the dressing room, like I don't like nobody else around me really knew, but I just started to feel a bit off, and I think if you could ask people who I haven't really spoke to even much of the team about like my feelings and stuff, but um, I know I wasn't really speaking much, and I was just like getting my warm up done and stuff and go through things, but I had loads of like negative kind of thoughts, and I was this like I felt off. If something felt off, and I can't put my finger on it why. Um, I suppose it's just boxing. People have off days in football and work all the time. And there's not really thought of it. It's just like okay, continue on to go to the next day. But in boxing, I suppose when you have an off day, it's in front of the whole world, and most of the time, or it's a be all and end all really situation there every time you're in the ring. So if you have an off day, it can have a big effect, and that's what happened. I had an off day and I lost, and you know you can't say I can't say like I've seen people saying oh it was a bad knockout. It wasn't even a knockout. It's got three and I'd actually get up after it. So um yeah, it's just the way it is, mate. I had an off day and paid the price.
That's why obviously I will echo that. It was actually a great fight. Obviously I was there. It was some fight. Both of you went toe to toe from the opening bell. I'm gonna talk about the game plan and how the fight actually went. How different was that to what you actually trained for and how the fight went actually on the night?
Yeah. No, that wasn't the game plan, mate. The game plan was the box. There was a reason the ring was 24 foot, you know what I mean? It was a huge ring. And I don't know, something in my head just went, oh fuck this, I'm just gonna try and have a fight here, and that's what happened. I just went and had a fight, and I fought against someone who's probably a better up close fighter than I am, carry more power than I have. So that's where I paid the price. And as I said, the game plan was the boxing. Even when we spoke before, I just said that I use skills, and that's what won me the fight. And I still believe if I had done that, I probably would have won the fight. And even I know throughout it, like he looked like he was blowing it out of his arse as well at times. He was puffing heavy, and going at it when we were both going at it. So I think if I had just been smart for the first six, and then our first eight maybe, and then probably changed up the game plan then. But I suppose hindsight's a wonderful thing, and you can look back and go, "What if?" Now, but you know, um, the fact is I've lost, and I've got to kind of rebuild and come back.
We'll come on to the rebuilding process. Obviously, I'm going to talk about it was actually quite like a heartwarming clip that Top Rank circulated of you and your brother that come out as well. I just want to touch on that and how much that mean to like obviously your brother has always been by your side. I think he's your biggest believer. um, in what you
Mm.
can achieve in sport and what you already have achieved. What did that mean
Yeah.
to obviously just speak to your brother in that brief instance that we did see? How does it show like to have family members that will always be there no matter what happens?
Well, we're brothers, and we've always been that close, and he's always been my idol and someone I've looked up to, and he said the same about me, but that's crazy because he's always been the person I've looked up to and the person I've always wanted to be and be like. And he's someone I would die for, and I know he would die for me. So we have proper brotherhood, which between all four of our brothers, we're all very very close, and we all have each other's backs, and that's just the way it is.
That's good to hear. And obviously, there was another one as well. Obviously, Adam Booth. I'm not sure what round it was. He did say if you do keep getting hit, he will call the fight and he will throw the towel in. What was going through your head in that at that stage in the fight?
Yeah, Adam knew that I wasn't doing what I was meant to be doing. That's why he said what he said. He knew that I wasn't following no game plan. He knew that I was just getting having the fight, and that's what he says. If you keep doing what you're doing, I'm going to throw the towel in. You're not following no game plan here. You're getting hit, and you're like taking too much shots when you're in there instead of just like using your skills. And obviously, it's much more condensed when he said it, but I knew that's what he meant. And since when I've spoke to him since, that's what he meant. And yeah, it was what it was. I understood that. I remember it, and like that's why when the towel was through in, when I did go down, I had no complaints after because it was the right thing to do. All I was doing was just going to where I get up. Now, if he had let it count, I would have get up and I probably would have went back in and took more damage, which would have been stupid and silly. And I think the towel get in was a great shape at him.
Obviously, there's been a lot. There's always been a lot of talk about Frantown. Obviously, I can think of Ben Davidson, Leigh Wood, and obviously maybe yourself there. Obviously, maybe that is what people say: live to fight another day, as they say. Obviously, that just shows the relationship between yourself and Adam, going into it. Obviously, it was a devastating loss, but obviously, you have openly said you are going to come again. Um, Obviously, we are going to go back to the Leigh Wood defeat. Do you think the rebuilding process will be the same as that? Similarly, like the rebuilding process is going to world level, just below that, and then having those two fights, then back into a world title fight again.
Possibly two or three, maybe this time. I don't know. It's just been over. Is it just over a month or is it a month exactly now? Just over,
No, it was a
dead
month. It was a
over a
month
month now.
yesterday.
28 month yesterday, and I've just been enjoying life and having the first full summer of my life in about 10 years, maybe since I was a kid, maybe more than 10 years. Um, yeah, because I wasn't a kid 10 years ago. I was 21. You know what I mean? But no, I think I've just been enjoying myself, and I've been away on a few holidays. I'll go on holiday again this Saturday, and take some proper time, proper rest before I decide to do anything in terms of who I fight, where I fight, when I fight. But I've left that up to Jamie, and I know even at that, no, I kind of still know what's going on and the conversations he's having, and I think that looking like November, December time for me. And I think that it could be 2 or 3 before we're back in that mix again. I don't mind either way. I think that it's what has to happen. You have to rebuild, and I think I need to rebuild. After a fight like that, obviously your confidence takes a little bit of a dent because how it happened. And obviously I have my reasons in my own head with not being there, not being present, not being but they're not being focused on the actual fight night and having an off night. But I still need to go in and fix some things and do some things differently for next time. So I have time to think. As I say, like December's what 6 months away now. November's five and a half months away. So um yeah, it's you know we have time, but I do know I need to make some important decisions and maybe changes in the lead up here.
It may be too soon, but would you like to go back to Belfast, the SSE Arena, just for your comeback fight in November, December?
Fine. I know I can. I know I can. I know I would. I do. I still do a massive number. My fans are probably one of the most loyal fans in the world. They're not gonna disappear like that. And we spoke off camera, and he even says about like when I lost, there were still people singing my name in bars and everything after. And I know that I know how loyal they are, and I'm very very grateful for my fans because I wouldn't be where I am without them. And I think that another fight at home would be nice, but I know a lot of people want an away day, so who knows? We could go to New York or somewhere else. I don't mind. I'm easy that way. But yeah, listen, I think the SSE would probably be the natural step to come back on. Now, no, would I be main event again? I don't know. I've just lost. But yeah, I would like to go back again.
I think it'll be huge. Obviously, the comeback is also usually bigger than the setback, and obviously, although it's spread across opinion, I will say my opinion. I do think you will become world champion. We are just going to go on to a situation in the division at the moment with Leigh, Warrington, and Kholmatov. Obviously, it does appear from what we're hearing is Kholmatov isn't going to step aside. I just want to know your opinion on that trio.
It's crazy. Yeah. Um, as much as me and Leigh Wood are nemesis, rivals, whatever you want to call it. I respect them. I respect them. We had the fight of the year, you know what I mean? And the guy showed serious battle in that fight. He took some serious damage in that fight, and still stood up and went again and got the win. Um, I would have loved the rematch. I still want the rematch. I wrote him off in the second fight even more so. I said the first fight was going to happen, but even the first fight, he put on a great performance. And I says the only reason he lost her after this is the only reason he lost her was because he got greedy. He could have boxed him, but he got greedy. I don't think he can do that for 12 rounds. I said that before the second one, and he did. And you gotta give him respect. He's becoming a Cinderella man. He's going against the odds and winning every time. So, fair play to him. But he seems like he's not getting it easy at all. His first mandatory was me. Now his second mandatory is Kholmatov, whatever he says his name, who is a dangerous Uzbek fighter. Not not an easy fight. Not an easy fight. And do I think we should take it? You're world champion, man. Can't take it away from you. But if you have two fights left and you want to earn the money, go fight Josh Warrington and then come fight me. Fuck the belt. He's world champion already. I still got to be world champion. I still want to do it, but he's done it. If he's going to go and earn more money fighting Warrington in Nottingham Forest ground, and then if you really want to send off with another big payday, come fight me. Yeah, you know what I mean. For the second fight, and I've seen him say he has two fights left, and he's done. Why don't you take him two fights instead of having no fighting an Uzbek who nobody knows and is a dangerous motherfucker than going and fighting Warrington who would we be favoured against right now, and then facing me again, and after my loss again, he'd be favoured against me. So who knows? That's why if I was managing him, I think he manages himself now. But that's the way I would. That's what I would do. Um, because it's not like having the belt isn't going to change his purses here. He's already world champion. He has the name now. He's built his reputation now. So, um, I think that would be a smart way to play things. But he seems like he is. He's a fucking stubborn, honorable man and wants to hold on to what he owns. The reason he picked Lara and everything. You know what I mean? So it looks like he probably will fight Kholmatov or however is his name. And if he does, I hope he wins.
Perfect. And another fighter in your division. I know you're relative. You do know him. You've fought him in the amateurs. Robeisy Ramierez. I spoke to
Yeah.
top rank COO after Brad Jacobs, and he immediately said a unification versus Lopez. Obviously, we know he has a fight on the in a way Fulton undercard. But if those two square off, Robeisy Ramierez and Vanolo Lopez, who would you edge towards in that fight?
It's a hard one. Ramirez is a talented fighter. man, and don't become two-time Olympic champion without having a good skill set, and he's right on the cusp of a wave at the minute, and I believe that skill set wise, Ramierez is light years ahead now. Power wise and stuff, Lopez definitely holds that over Ramierez, and you know I don't really know. I think I'm going to edge towards Lopez, just because of his him beating me, but Ramierez, you can't write Ramierez off, man. You can't write him off. He's a really good fighter, and I think he would probably go into the fight as favorite.
If that does happen, it would be some fight, and I think everyone's all for it. It's going to be my last question. It will be several, but I'm just going to talk about Conlan boxing as a whole. You do have a show, Falls Park. I think it's August the 4th. Podraig McCrory headline, and we were talking off camera. Obviously,
Yeah,
it was quite a hard time to come in after your fight. Obviously, being afloat, being after the main event. Obviously, it was a bit tough for Poddy, but he is getting a shot of Falls Park. Just
yeah.
speak on Poddy McCrory against Steve Woodall for me, please.
Potty is the real Cinderella man, and he is like as much silly ways. Potty is and what he's done and how he came in the box so late in the professional game, and has achieved what he's achieved and just keeps winning. There's fights Potty's been into, and Jamie says to me, "What do you think?" And I go, "I don't know, man. I don't know." Especially when I see him winning, and then going, "I don't know what happens here." You know what I mean? But he pulls it out of the bag every time, and you know what? It couldn't happen to a better man. A lovely human being. One of the nicest, most down to earth people you could meet, and feet purely on the ground. I have massive respect for Body, and I think he's going into this one. Another tough enough fight for him to have. Um, I'm one in the park, and I know that he will relish the opportunity and take it with both hands because fighting in that park is something special, man. It really is something special. Um, I think him going there and handling himself this time is well earned and well deserved.
Obviously, it will be massive. There is another fight on the card. It's the latest Conlan boxing signing, Georgia O'Connor. Obviously, that is a huge signing. She's been on some of the biggest shows. Just talk to me about what you know about Georgia O'Connor and what's there to be excited about.
Yeah, listen, I know she was a very good amateur, and is already 3-0 as a pro, and she's going really well at the minute. And I think that it was the right time for us to sign a female fighter, and knowing that Georgia has Irish heritage, we were like, let's jump on this. I think we've got a gold mine here with Georgia. I think she can do very very well. I think she's a great fighter, as I said, very good amateur pedigree, and I think when we see her in this program, like we've already sure 3-0, but I think when she gets the opportunities and she has backing like us, she'll have some great cards to be on. She's already been on great cards, but she can start probably hitting her own cards very soon. You know what I mean? So I think that's what we're aiming at. I think you're going to see some special performances from Georgia.
It will be massive, and we all look forward to the progress of Georgia O'Connor. That was my last question, so I'm going to thank you for your time, Mick, and I hope you have a good rest of the day delivering the beer.
You too, mate. You too.